Let us look at electromagnetic induction. We have already studied that the current carrying wire causes a magnet to move, and if the current carrying wire is kept in the magnetic field, it experiences a force. We are going to learn how current is produced using the current and magnet, called electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction was first discovered way back in 1830s by Michael Faraday. Faraday noticed that when he moved a permanent magnet in and out of a coil or a single loop of wire, it induced an electromotive force or EMF, in other words, a voltage, and therefore a current was produced. To observe this effect, let us perform an activity. Take a coil of wire having a large number of turns. Connect it to a galvanometer. Do you know what a galvanometer is? It is a device that detects the presence of current in the circuit. If no current flows in the circuit, the pointer of the galvanometer remains at 0. If current flows in a circuit, it deflects either left or right, depending upon the flow of the current in the circuit. It is denoted by G in a circuit. Note, there is no battery attached to the circuit. We need to bring a strong bar magnet near the coil. Slowly, start moving the north pole of the bar magnet towards one side of the coil. We see deflection in the galvanometer. This is because the movement of the magnet has created an electric current. Now, stop moving the magnet. We notice that the deflection in the galvanometer also stops. This shows that when the movement of the magnet stops, the generation of current also stops. Now, start moving the magnet in the opposite direction. We notice that the galvanometer again deflects, but in the opposite direction. This shows that the direction of the movement of the magnet affects the direction of the movement of the electric current. Now, change the position of the magnet. Start moving to the south pole of the bar magnet towards one side of the coil and observe the deflection in the galvanometer. The deflections in the galvanometer would just be the opposite of the previous case. When the coil and the magnet are both stationary, there is no deflection in the galvanometer. It is thus clear from this activity that the motion of a magnet with respect to the coil produces an induced potential difference, which sets up an induced electric current in the circuit. Let us study electromagnetic induction with the help of a current-carrying coil. We have taken two coils of copper wire with a large number of turns placed on a non-conducting roll. One of the coils with the largest number of turns is called the primary coil, which is connected to a power supply, and the other coil is only connected to a galvanometer. It is called the secondary coil. Insert the plug key and observe the galvanometer for deflection. There is a momentary current in the secondary coil. We can see that the galvanometer deflects momentarily and the galvanometer needle jumps to one side and quickly returns to 0. Now, disconnect the plug key and observe. We can see that the needle of the galvanometer deflects again momentarily, but to the opposite side. As we change the supply voltage, there is a momentary deflection in the second coil. We have observed that a potential difference is induced in the secondary coil. When an electric current passes through the primary coil, that is, during the starting or the stopping of the current, the magnetic field associated with it also changes. Thus, the magnetic field lines around the secondary coil also change. Hence, the change in the magnetic field lines associated with the secondary coil is the cause of the induced electric current in it. So, we can conclude that the process by which a changing magnetic field in the conductor induces a current in another conductor is called electromagnetic induction. We shall see that an electric current is induced when a conductor is moved in the magnetic field. For that, take 2 bar magnets. Arrange the north pole of the magnet facing to the south pole of another magnet, as shown. If you use an arrangement like this, then at least near the center of the magnet, the field will be pretty straightforward. Take a wire and connect it with a bulb and galvanometer in series. You will observe that the bulb is not glowing and even the galvanometer is not showing any deflection. Now, slowly start moving the wire upwards continuously without stopping. When the wire is in close proximity to the magnetic field, a bulb will glow and we will see a deflection in the galvanometer. As we move outside the magnetic field, the bulb will stop glowing. Now, when the wire is moved downwards, the bulb will glow and deflection in the galvanometer is observed, but in the opposite direction. So, when a moving conductor is placed inside a magnetic field, a current will be induced in it. If the conductor is moving inside the magnetic field, there will be a relationship between the direction of applied force, magnetic field, and the current. The relation between these 3 directions is determined by Fleming's right hand rule. For that, hold out the right hand with the first finger, second finger, and the thumb at the right angle to each other. If the forefinger represents the direction of the line of magnetic field, the thumb points in the direction of motion or applied force, then the second finger points in the direction of induced current. This simple rule is called Fleming's right hand rule. This rule is used for electric generators.